Well, good day everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Well, the time has come. I ordered a replacement ribbon cartridge for my IBM Selectric 721. I don't need a new cartridge or new ribbon at this point, but I wanted to try a new cartridge just to see how it works. What this machine is, the 721 variety of the IBM Selectric, the first model of the Selectric, which people call the Selectric 1. This particular version I have was designed for a cloth ribbon cartridge. It has a cartridge that reverses, auto reverses, and it's cloth. It's 9/16, so it's 1/16 inch wider than a 1/2 inch ribbon. But the ribbon that was actually in there when I got the machine is an aftermarket Burroughs made ribbon cartridge that uses a multi-strike carbon film ribbon. So the IBM Selectric 2s and 3s usually came with a single-use only carbon film ribbon, a very thin plastic film. When you type on it, the character lifts off the black film off the clear plastic. But this multi-strike ribbon uses carbon film, but a much, much thicker coating, and you can see the imprints made by the type element, but it doesn't peel off the entire coating. The cartridge will auto-reverse, and you can use the ribbon over and over again until eventually the carbon film wears out. So they don't make those multi-pass ribbon cartridges anymore. I have to buy new old stock. But in the meantime, I really wanted to try out newly manufactured cartridge with a cloth ribbon, and I got one from Ribbons Unlimited here, and I thought it would be fun to put it in and just see how it works. Alright, so this is the old ribbon. It's actually still good. Turn the power off to the machine. We will remove the type element. Put it aside here, okay. So what you have to do here is you have to raise it up like that with this lever, and then get some slack so you can gently pull out the ribbon carefully out of the slots. And then the cartridge should lift out like that. And I'm just going to leave it like that. And you can see the multi-strike effect where some of the carbon film is peeled off, but there's plenty remaining. Okay, because this is a cloth ribbon, I'm going to get my little ribbon replacement kit. I have some gloves to wear, and I have a couple tweezers, so I don't have to handle the ribbon itself because it is cloth and looks like it's quite inky. Alright, let's take the ribbon out of the box. It is nicely sealed up in a plastic bag, and you can see already the inkiness of it. There we go. Alright, so this is the top of the cartridge with these little arrows. Grab me a tweezer and try to fit both of these, the ribbon into both of these guides first. It looks like it's quite easy to replace, actually. Maybe even easier than a manual typewriter ribbon. Flip the lever down, and then you just have to spin the spool to take up the slack, like that. There it is. Well, I guess now we have to test it, hey? So let's replace the type element back into the machine. The artisan type element that I was using. There we go. We're going to leave the impression on 3 where it was before. We'll leave the copy control where it was at also. I was expecting this type quality to look like a cloth ribbon where you can see the structure of the weave of the cloth, but man, does this look different. It looks like almost like carbon film. I mean, I'm really impressed. And also, looking at the ribbon itself, it didn't look spectacularly wet, like overly wet, like shiny wet with ink, but that is really quite impressive. Okay, so this is going to be funny. I'm actually using digital zoom right now on my camera just to zoom in further. And since the typewriter doesn't have a carriage and my camera is on this boom arm, I'm going to actually pan this shot by sliding the typewriter itself. But I wanted to show you this imprint. Now, I know the ink looks kind of brownish, but that's just the light here under my lamp. It's kind of warm tone, but I'm pretty impressed with the quality of imprint. This doesn't look like a cloth ribbon. Well, okay, so I've typed about a quarter of a page so far, including rapid underlines, and I can say that I'm very impressed with this ribbon. I really can hardly tell the difference between it and the multi-strike ribbon, which is really impressive to me because these ribbons are available from Lonnie Horowitz at Ribbons Unlimited, the Selectric 72 so-called. And I should mention, by the way, in terms of using this cartridge, adjusting the height of where on the ribbon you're typing, you have this lever, it's 4-position. So flipping this all the way to the right is the stencil mode. Then one click to the left is the top of the ribbon. Then you have middle ribbon and you have bottom ribbon. So this is kind of like, if you want to think of it in terms of like a Hermes 3000 ribbon selector. So you can use the heck out of it on the top setting, then go to the middle and go to the bottom. And the nice thing about these is that I don't think you're going to notice much of a performance difference between any of these 3 positions, unlike a type bar electric, where sometimes on the bottom position you will have a problem where the action of the machine is a little bit more sluggish and it's easier to snarl up your type bars or whatever because it takes longer for the ribbon to drop. I think these Selectrics are fast enough in any of these ribbon positions. I should also mention, in terms of corrections, I used one of these correction tabs and I corrected the T right here, even though I missed the letter I. So I did a correction on the T, and it looks just about the same as if you were doing the correction to the carbon film ribbon. So I don't really see any problems with corrections with this cloth ribbon. It looks like it's going to perform just fine. I'm going to be putting this in a baggie to keep it fresh. I like using these snack-size Ziploc baggies with a double closure. You force most of the air out as much as you can, and it works really well for storing ribbons so they don't dry up. This is a little trick back in the TV repair days when you had vacuum tubes that came in little boxes, and we would flip one of the tabs open indicating that it's been used. And then I'm going to put a little label here saying what it is, what kind of cartridge it is. So then I can keep this on hand in case I want to switch back to this ribbon. Okay, let's make a label for that ribbon box, shall we? Like using these Avery labels. All right, very nice. Well, okay, so what we have is a comparison between the Burroughs multi-strike ribbon on your left and the new Ribbons Unlimited cloth ribbon on the right, and I think it's pretty easy to tell that the cloth ribbon is darker than the multi-strike carbon film ribbon. As we saw from the close-up shots of the cloth ribbon, I don't think I see real visible evidence of cloth texture to the imprint. It looks really dark, and keep in mind this paper here is not necessarily the most ideal paper for making a dark imprint, but it seems to be really nice. Very impressed, actually. So there again is the multi-strike carbon film. There is the cloth ribbon. Very impressed, and I'm very happy that I have a source of new ribbons for the Selectric 72 series. I thought it might also be fun to do a comparison between the multi-strike, the cloth cartridge ribbon, and this is the blue ribbon in my Smith Corona 5TE electric type bar machine, just to compare that. So electric type bar cloth ribbon, Selectric 72 cloth ribbon, there is definitely a difference in quality. This doesn't look like a cloth ribbon. It looks like an IBM Selectric. And then, since this is kind of brown, toothy paper that I'm typing on, I wanted to make a comparison between it and these bright white labels, adhesive labels. It makes a really super dark, punchy imprint on smoother kinds of white paper. And you can still see, though, the loops and the small letters don't look filled in or messy. Now, there is one issue that I'm going to be looking for is down the road as I continue to use this cloth ribbon, is it going to cause the type element to clog up? Will I have to clean the type element? And that's something that we'll have to look at down the road, and I'll let you guys know if I have to. Well, my typewriter collecting has certainly changed over the years, especially in regard to bigger machines. Because when I first started my collecting back in the mid-aughts, I think it was the Royal Mercury that I got from John Lewis. I purchased it from him. So I was always enamored with small machines, and that's why I've been through like 3 letter 22s and a number of other smaller machines I don't have anymore. But my friend Kevin has encouraged me to look at bigger machines because he likes them. So I did have a wider version of the Selectric one, the 71, and the carbon film version, not the cloth ribbon version, if I remember right. Anyways, I had gotten it from a local member of our Typewriter Society here in Albuquerque. I used it for a while, but I didn't really get on with it because of the size, really. But this machine certainly makes me feel differently. It is the narrower body style, the 8.5-inch writing line, 11-inch wide platen. So it really does have me encouraged that there will be consumables, ribbons available for this style machine, the 72 style, in the future, at least through Ribbons Unlimited, and maybe there are other suppliers as well. And a lot of times when you buy cloth ribbons on spools online, you're not always confident of how dark they're going to imprint. But I'm very satisfied so far with this ribbon. It does make a really beautifully dark imprint, and I am on the middle setting, so I could set it to the lighter setting and probably still get a great impression and extend the length of the life of the ribbon anyways. So it'll be fun to see how long this ribbon lasts, keeping in mind I'll have 3 passes I can do. I am looking forward to using this, and actually the usage case for this, now that I was typing on my Smith Corona 5TE this morning, the usage case really is a comparison between this machine and a Typewriter Electric, because this doesn't have a correction system built in. And really the only huge difference in functionality that there really is interchangeable type elements. Everything else about this compares very similarly to a Typewriter Electric. In fact, my 5TE happens to be quieter, smaller, and weighs less, but that's for another day. We'll make that comparison in the future. But for now, I encourage you, if you're interested in an IBM Selectric style machine, the early version, the so-called 70 series, are out there, and if you can get one with the narrower style chassis, I really think they're great. I want to thank my friend Kevin also for getting this into my life. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you out there, and I wish the best for you. I hope that you stay creative and have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye for now.